Hiya, welcome to GGKCS, the multi-generational podcast / FlossTube for fans of all things knitting, cross-stitch, and geeky. I'm Cece, and I'm so glad you're here today. Today is Sunday, the 31st of January, 2021, and this is Stitch With Me, episode 41. I'm going to be continuing to stitch on the Cat and Heart from DMC. It was a kit given to me by Michelle Bindi Stitchy, and I'm doing it on the 14 count Aida that was in the kit with the called for flosses that were in the kit. I can't find this online. I think it must have come with a magazine freebie thing. Okay, I'm just making sure that I'm in the camera. I'd like to say a big welcome back. Love y'all to all returning viewers, and a big hiya to any new viewers. Thanks for giving us a shot. Hope you enjoy the show. So okay, I should have paid attention. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, there we go. That's where my count was off. I was like, why am I not getting my right count? I should have checked that before we started. If you're new here, welcome. So I record these Stitch With Me's on Sundays and release them on Mondays. And then on Thursdays, we release our full podcast / FlossTube episode. And my kid, Dammy, who is 21 years old and is in university in Seattle, is on them every other week. And then I do an abbreviated version of the episode on off weeks. And that's just because Dammy's schedule is like so busy with university. They're in their third year. They're technically a senior, even though it's their third year, just because of how many credits they have. So, yeah. So that is us, and we've been doing this 9 years in August. I can't even believe it. Dammy was 12 when we started, and yeah. Okay, how was y'all's week? I hope you had a really good week. Mine was busy. I talked to my mom every week on Saturday mornings. I mean, I talk to her other times during the week as well, usually, by text or whatever. But we have a standing Saturday morning we talk. And we usually chat about what's been happening this last week. And my brain was just I have no idea what I did this week. It was just very busy. And then I slowly started remembering and everything. One of the things that I knew they were going to do this, but I read the notice wrong, and so it threw a little kink in my week, but it was fine. We live in an apartment, and they had sent us a notice that they were going to be replacing something, I don't know what it was called, under our sinks. And the building that we live in has 12 apartments. So they were going to do 3 apartments a day for 4 different days. And next week, they're going to be doing it tomorrow, starting. They're going to be doing it on Monday, Wednesday, Friday afternoon, from 1 to 4. It takes about an hour per apartment. And so when I read that, my reading was that for this past week, my brain said they're going to do it on Friday because they're doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's next week. No, they were doing it on Thursday. And I also misread thinking that they weren't doing our apartment the first day. I thought they were doing our apartment this next week. So they show up on Thursday, and they're like, we're doing your apartment today. And I was like, oh, okay. And they had turned off the water because they had to turn off the water to do it. They had turned off the water. Thankfully, they gave us notice. They've started giving us notice if they have to do this because I have pitched a big enough fit over the 3+ years. Have we been here for 3 years? Yeah, almost 3 years we've lived here. I had to count. that of them like just randomly turning off the water and not telling us. And then all of a sudden we realize that we have no water. So I have pitched a big enough fit about that over these years that they have started giving us notice. I mean, other than, emergencies happen, but still, if an emergency happens, you can still turn off the water and then knock on the apartment doors and say, hey, we had a leak. It's an emergency situation. The water's off, not just leaving it for us to figure out on our own. You know what I mean? Yeah. This story has gotten way longer than it needed to be. But anyway, they turned the water off, and then they needed to, since they were going to be in our apartment, replacing whatever, they needed to, I played thread chicken, and so now I'm having to try to, do this. They needed to drain off whatever water was still left in the pipes after they turned the water off. Oh, and by the way, you need to take everything out from under both sinks. Everything. Could they have put that in the notice to say, hey, if your apartment, I got the days confused anyway, but they could have said in the notice, if your apartment's one of the ones that we're working on, you're going to need to take everything out from your bathroom and kitchen sink. But they didn't do that. So I had to very, very, very quickly, thankfully ours was not the first one they were doing, very quickly take everything out from under both sinks. And in the kitchen, we have normal stuff under the sink, but that's also where we store all of Pink's food and cookies, treats. We call them cookies because my favorite murder, Elvis wanted a cookie. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's okay. But we call Pink's treats cookies. And anyway, so all that stuff was under there. Well, as I was getting stuff out from under the bathroom sink, I was finding boxes that had, that was supposed to have something in it, and it wasn't in it, but we weren't using the item I'm talking about mainly because, oh my gosh, y'all, this story has gotten so freaking long. I have to finish it now because I have hypermobility, and so I have issues where I hurt my ankles and my wrists and my elbows and all this stuff. So I have braces for everything. Well, not for everything, but for a lot of things. I have ankle brace, I have wrist braces, I have elbow braces, but the things had not gotten put back in their boxes from the previous time of me using them. They had just gotten stuck in a drawer in the bathroom. Or somehow we had 2 open boxes of cotton swabs. Why do we have 2 open boxes when they were both partially used? Because I didn't organize it well under there. I organized it to start with and then didn't keep it up. And so I was like, you know what, when they finish under the sink here and I start putting stuff away, I'm just going to take everything out of the bathroom drawers as well and just organize it all. And so that's what I did. So that was the long story. That took not 10 minutes, but about 8 minutes or something for me to tell you. So that was an unexpected thing that happened this week. Thankfully, they were very spot on about their estimate of how long it would take. So our water was back on by 4 o'clock, like they had predicted. So, but Monday, Wednesday, Friday this week, they're also going to do that. So I need to remember to set an alarm on my phone so that I make sure and use the bathroom and fill my water glass up so that, I don't get caught. So, why did I need to tell you this story? I don't know, but I did. I'm trying to think what else happened this week. My niece, Lola, had to get braces, but I didn't realize they were going to do this. They only put them, I think, on the top to start with because she had a tooth like I did. Mine was on the top, and I think hers must have been on the bottom because they're waiting, where the adult tooth grew in front of the baby tooth. I assume that's how hers did as well. That's how mine did. And so the baby tooth had to be pulled. So I think hers did the same thing where the baby tooth, I don't know which tooth it was, but where the adult tooth grew up in front of the baby tooth. And so the baby tooth had to be pulled. So they are waiting to put the braces on the bottom until that adult tooth has a little bit of time to kind of shift closer to in place. And then they'll put the braces on the bottom teeth. I never had to have braces. So, I don't know exactly what it feels like, but yeah, she had to have braces on this week. What else happened this week? I guess it was a pretty normal week other than that. I did get caught up on if you've been keeping track, I got caught up on my Gilmore Girls cross stitch sampler because, I started it late because I didn't know about it. And so now there have been, I think, 13 clues put out. And yeah, I can completely caught up. I caught up on Friday when because like they have been putting out, it feels like bigger clues on Fridays because they release clues Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's a 12-week stitch along. If you're interested in this, it's in the Enablers group on Facebook. If you go to our website, ggkcs.com, and look in the show notes for the full-length episodes, I link the group, and you just have to join, and then it's in their files. They release a clue 3 times a week. But they have been, it seems like, been releasing larger clues on Fridays. So I was getting close to being, I think on Thursday, I had almost finished clue 12, and I just didn't quite finish it. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to finish clue 12 on Friday, and then I'll get started on whatever the clue is that they release on Friday. And it wasn't a huge clue. It was a dragonfly for the Dragonfly Inn. And it wasn't a huge clue, so I finished. And so I'm all caught up, ready for tomorrow. Okay, y'all got to wait a minute because I need to count. Because I'm going to go ahead and because this is the same green color here in this part of the heart. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so it goes in between here, right? Okay, and then we skip 2 rows. Yes. And then how many stitches am I doing? My pattern is up here. That's why my arm is up here. I don't know if you can see it. There, my arm. I'm counting up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 9. So yeah, so I'm caught up on that. And then how has January passed so quickly? How is it already, I'm going to get a drink of water here. How is it already the 31st of January? This month has flown by. But the Barbara Anna, I think it's Dreaming Girl. I can't remember the exact name of it. Stitch Along starts tomorrow. I have not picked out fabric yet. I kind of was waiting for the first clue to come out before I decided on what fabric I wanted to use because I'm going to try to use something from my stash. I don't have a huge stash of fabric, but I do have some fabric. So I'm kind of waiting for the first clue to come out tomorrow because I would like to try to stay caught up with that. I don't remember how many clues there are or how often they are being released. And I really can't look because I record my face with my computer and I don't want to click away from the video. And I record my hands here with my phone, so I can't look. But I'm excited about that. To start stitching that. I did pick, I got another couple hundred stitches in on my Edinburgh Castle and finished another column on the page. It was very confetti heavy, which is why I only did 200 stitches instead of 300 stitches like I've done the last couple of weeks. So last night, I picked back up my Helianthus pattern project that is the pattern by Ink Circles and finished up the color I was doing, which finishes up the outside border of it. And so then I started on Okay, I'm just making sure I'm matching up. I started on the next color inside of it. For WIPGO for February, I can't remember. I don't remember what numbers got called or anything. I know that one of the squares that got called was a square that I was finished in January, but I was then waiting for it to be called because I'm doing my stuff as year long. And then the other square that got called is another new start for me, and I'm going to go ahead and wait and start for that because when I made my WIPGO board, I did not know about the Gilmore Girls Sal, and I did not know about the Barbara Anna Sal. So I'm gonna wait to do that new start. It's one of the I think it is the Winter Witches pattern from Michelle Bendy Stitchy. It's either that or it's the Hildy's Hayride from Michelle Bendy Stitchy. I can't remember which, but both of those I will start and get done this year. But I'm just going to try to finish out the Gilmore Girls Sal and probably the Barbara Anna Sal as well before I start on those. And then I've just been knitting away on the surprise socks that I'm doing for a friend, and they watch, and so I don't want them to know that they're for them. So I've been knitting on those, and then I need to knit today's preemie hat as well. I've got it ready. I just haven't knit it yet. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Oh, I know what else I was going to tell y'all. So Dammy and I, in case you don't know this, have a knitting design business called Java Pearl Designs, JAVAPURL, because of our love of coffee. And then Pearl is the other type of knit stitch. All knitting is based on the 2 stitches, knit and purl. There's just different variations of things that are done. But so Dammy and I, we've published 3 physical books. I don't know how many patterns, 60 plus patterns. And we decided that we're not going to do any more shows where we sell our patterns at shows. Just Dammy's not able to really design right now, even though they have some patterns they want to design, but because of school, they can't do it right now. I'm not designing as much. I don't have a design even on the needles right now. So we went through all of our samples of designs that we have, and we kept some of them, because we wanted to keep them. For ourselves, but we, if y'all can see my hand shaking, please don't worry about me. It's fibromyalgia, and some days the shaking is worse than other days. So that's also why I'm having trouble sometimes threading this needle. Come on, go in there. There we go. Where is it? It's this one. We're just going to pull that out. And then we're going to thread this in here. Yeah, it's just the fibromyalgia. Sometimes I have shakes worse than other days, and today is just a high shake day. Anyway, okay, so we went through our samples, we pulled out what we wanted to keep, and then we listed over 20 of the samples in our Etsy shop, which is javapearl.etsy.com, JAVAPURL.etsy.com, for sale. So if you have ever wanted to get your hands on something that Dammy or I designed and knit, this is your chance. So quite a few of them have sold already, but there are some still in the shop. So, and I'm shipping out fairly quickly because, yeah, I just am. I'm able to do that right now. I either like catch the mail carrier when they're here and hand off the parcels, or yesterday we dropped them in the outgoing mailbox that's at the grocery store when we picked up our groceries. So yeah, so if you're interested in getting your hands on something we've designed and knit, they're available in our Etsy shop. So, okay, I think that's everything this week that's happened. Hi, Pinky. If you can hear the jingle bell, that's Pink Pearl making noises. Okay, this is my 300 writing prompts book that I got from Barnes & Noble. I thought I was going to journal it, and then I decided not to, and so I talk about them with y'all sometimes. Okay, I guess let's start here. What is your favorite room in your home or apartment? Probably this room that I'm in right now. We don't eat at the dining room table, and so we turned the dining room into my office. And so I'm sitting at the dining room table right now to record this, but and then behind me, obviously, is my craft shelf with my yarn and all my stuff in it. But across the room that way is my desk. And I just have all kinds of fun things up on the walls, fan art, pictures. I've got a bulletin board with cards and badges and pins and things like that. I have lots of fun things on the walls in this room, and so I really, really like it. So, so yeah, that's probably what I would say. This room is probably my favorite. Trying to do there. Okay, and then there was a knock at the door. I know what it is. It's Amazon delivering a parcel. It's fine. Don't leave it. Okay, wait, let's see. Where am I at here? Okay, so I need to skip 2 rows this time to do right here. I don't answer all the questions in the book. Some of them I don't. Okay, this is a fun one. What book or book series did you wish would continue when you were done reading it? My first thought when I saw this, when I pulled the book open this morning, was Anne of Green Gables, but I feel like Lucy Maud Montgomery ended that at a good point, like, because there's like 7 or 8 books maybe. So I feel like, that probably ended at a good point. The one that popped into my head next was A Discovery of Witches. Because it's a 3-book series, and I'm watching the TV show right now that they're making from it, and I'm really enjoying that. And so it would be really, I think it'd be really cool if the book series continued. The other thing that popped into my head was Outlander, but she's still writing it. Diana Gabaldon is still writing that. So, I don't know how many books she's going to write. There's lots of them. There's lots of short stories and novellas. There's a spin-off book series. So there's plenty of reading there. Yeah. Okay. Think of the last movie you saw. Give us a review of it. What was the last movie that I saw? I guess it must have been the new Wonder Woman 1984 or whatever it's called. It was okay. It was pretty good. I know there's been lots of not so good reviews, I've seen some not so good reviews of it, but I thought it was okay. I wish they had done more with the part that they did at the beginning where Diana is a child and being trained and everything, because I thought that was super interesting. So, yeah. Let's see, maybe one more. When have you felt like the new kid? A lot. And it was because literally I was the new kid. My dad is a minister, and so we moved a lot as a child when I was growing up. Um, I'm trying to think if I can remember and count how many schools I went to. One, two, three, four, five. I think I went to 6 different schools in my growing up years. Probably the very hardest move was we moved during the middle of the second semester of my sophomore year of high school. And so that one was a hard one, because, you know, people have already formed their friendship groups and such. And yeah, that one was probably the hardest move. But yeah, so I definitely know the feeling of being the new kid because I was the new kid so often. And I think that's probably why I don't have like friends from growing up years that I'm still in contact with. I mean, like I have one friend from high school that, like, I guess I would probably just say like acquaintance level now, but yeah, I just don't really have friends from growing up that I've kept in touch with because of the moving so often. And of course, back then, internet was not really a thing, or was a, there it is. I was like, what did I do with that small piece of floss? The internet was not really a thing until the end of my high school years. And social media definitely was not a thing. So, we just didn't keep up because there wasn't a way to really. So, yeah. Yeah, so that's what I would probably say would be that. So, okay, well, I think I'm at a good stopping point. I think I'm going to stop right here. So I've done the green here. There is more of this green over here, but I think what I'm going to do now is I think I'm going to do this paler yellow here and here, and then it's the darker yellow down here. There, and then there's pale and dark yellow there. But if I go ahead and do this pale yellow and start, probably what I'll do is I'll start here and do, I need to make sure and do there's a little bit of the pale yellow in the ears. But I think if I start here and do the pale yellow this way, and then I can come over and I don't know. I'm trying to decide if I want to do the paler green here and then fill in the yellow around it, or do the yellow and then fill in the paler green. I don't know. I can decide that later. It's fine. So there we go. There's where I'm at. And this actually completes a WIPGO goal of stitching on it for 4 Stitch With Me videos. So, but I'm not sure if that square has been called yet or not. So, well, thank you so much for joining me today. You can find us online at ggkcs.com. There you'll find links to everywhere else we are online. Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Instagram, our Facebook group. Make sure if you join, you answer all the questions, including check marking that you've read the rules, because otherwise we won't approve your membership. Yeah, and all those places that you can find us online. I will be back with you by myself later this week on Thursday with an abbreviated podcast FlossTube episode. And yeah. Well, I hope you have a great week ahead. Happy crafting, and I will talk to you again soon.